Hi, I'm Emily. I've made a short film for you this evening. I'll tell you a little bit about my work and myself as an artist first. So I look a lot at this idea of sort of what I call corporeal reality and how our bodily configurations shape our sense of self, and how it's a kind of balance and a dance between our inner lives and these sort of stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves, and how our anatomical configuration sort of buffers against that and against the world around us and how they will perceive us. And how that all kind of comes together to form a sense of identity, a sense of self, and our place within the world. So as a part of that, I'm looking a lot at neurodiversity and how experiencing and perceiving and responding to the world in these different ways might also change the way in which we form that sense of identity. So in this project, I've continued to look at the concept of masking, which is essentially any attempt to hide kind of neurodivergent traits. So it might be mimicking more neurotypical behaviour or suppressing what's seen as neurodivergent traits. So as a part of that masking process, what a lot of people do is they'll script and rehearse and role play and sort of act out scenarios in advance of them in order to kind of feel out where their place in that dialogue might be, how they might respond, and how they might take part in that conversation. So I've been thinking a lot about how people use imagination to kind of fill those gaps in understanding and fill the gaps between the sort of that dance of the corporeal reality and this inner life and these stories that we're telling ourselves at the same time. So we see a figure and they're quite literally masked. I've used a hot water bottle mask, which I've used in the past. I think there's a nice contradiction between sort of the security that the image of the hot water bottle brings against this sort of unease of not being able to immediately connect with the face. I think maybe that also gives the viewer a bit of a sort of mini experience of what it's like to maybe not have that go-to facial communication that's typical. So we see this figure and they're sort of carefully moulding this imaginary world around them through which they can play out and explore these ideas in their different masks that they've created in order to sort of understand the world around them and rehearse it. But inevitably, these worlds are hypotheticals and they morph and melt and they're not rooted in this solid reality of the world that they have to go out into. So we see them sort of trying really hard to hold on to it and maintain these shapes and these characters that they're formed, as they will often do with their relationships in their life and with their peers going onwards in this sort of ongoing attempt to understand the complexities of human relationships. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.